All right, Brian from Garage Hall. We just got this stair stepper, and it's like a StepMill. So if you're unfamiliar, and this is how it came. So basically, it came on a pallet, and this is a large crate, and you can see it is 160 to 101 kilograms. I'll convert that below. I think it's like 500 pounds. And then, yeah. Okay, so I have the stair climber, StepMill in my gym area. It's kind of tight back here. It's like my studio gym, so it's not like super huge. But this crate actually is super huge. How big? Let me give you the measurements. Hang on. So give you a general idea. So the crate itself is 33 and a half inches wide, and that's not including the pallet. And your pallet is about 40 and a half inches, so you can kind of know like what size doorway you can drag it in. And on the pallet it stands 57 and a half inches tall. Not on the pallet, it stands 50 inches, so you have an idea. And it is every bit of, it's 53 and a half inches wide, just to kind of give you an idea. So it is it's a large crate. Now how you open this, obviously you want to get yourself a decent pair of leather gloves. And I have a piece of paper towel here because my tools, they're greasy because I have the car studio is up on the other side, so I always keep that paper towel handy just in case they get messy. Put that over there. So this has these tabs on them, and you need something like, I have a pry bar that you can hit on the end with a hammer, or if you have a large flathead screwdriver, that will work as well. But basically what you're doing is you are hitting these tabs and you're bending them up and out of the way. And you want to get them started like this. So go underneath this one. You want to bend that up. And then basically work yourself around, all the way around. And then you want to work the tabs with a pair of pliers, and you want to bend them straight up as such. Or straight up so you can get them. And if they're not completely straight, not a big deal, but you're going to be hitting this with a hammer trying to bend that metal up. So try to keep them straight as possible. And then you just work yourself all the way around, all sides. So that's what it looks like on the inside so far. All right, let's work on the side panels. get a second person to help you out for sure. But I'm going to actually push this over out of the way, and then I'm going to kind of roll it onto these styrofoam pieces that it shipped with, so I can get it safely off this. Okay, and so I needed my son, and I found the easiest way was to actually put it on its side. And I had 2 pillows to kind of keep it off your toes in case you got a little bit too close. So I used like a nice 2 like really thick pillows, tilted it on its side, got it onto its side, and then I don't know if you can see in the video, but I have this on 4 like these coaster wheels. So one for intensive purposes, I can slide this around a little bit easier for myself. And to show you, here's the electrical connection. Looks like that is a reset switch, and then that is your power switch. Now, the instructions are right here. Kind of give you a close-up view of that. So that's that. You need 2 adjustable wrenches and 1 rubber mallet, 1 standard, and 1 Phillips screwdriver. Obviously not included. And then that is like a list of your hardware, everything that you have. And so it's telling you to remove X and Y. So both of these control panels right here. So let's remove those. And there is a bunch of screws, so definitely let me get this the right torque. So it looks like 15 psi. 15 on my Bosch. That's still in there pretty good. Okay. So it looks like they are self-tapping screws, just to kind of give you an idea. So lose track of those in the washer. Wire connections. I think this might fall freely to the floor. Okay, so that's going to hang on. Don't put too much strain on that. Okay, so with those removed, it wants you to basically slip this control panel up and through. Then there's your bolt. So it wants a M855 and a washer. So your parts kit, so that's basically everything labeled. So right away in the instructions, it doesn't look like it's labeled too well. But I think we need these 2 screws because they actually don't correspond with what's in the instructions. Take them out. Take both Allen keys out. And I think we need these 2 washers right here. here's the control panel. Kind of off angle, but closer out this way so we can see. But lightly cut the tape, definitely away from the panel. All right, so that's out of the way. That is your control panel for your stepper. Okay, so you're going to be putting this in through here. And then these two bolts, they go up through the bottom underneath here. Kind of hard to see. We'll grab those. And put your two washers on. Alright, so this is a little on the more difficult side. By yourself, if you had a second person to help you out. So you can kind of feel the holes up in the bottom. And it's kind of like an oval. You can't miss it. It's underneath. I think I can put this top in place. And then I can use the Allen key to tighten this up. Got that pretty good. So that's mounted in well. And then underneath here, you'll see the little electrical connection for this. It's kind of like right at the base. And before we snap that in place, let's go on to the next part. So it goes down, it loops up, and then it connects to that connector. It's showing off on the side, but it is actually right underneath here. If you lift this up again, I'll try and scratch all the pin up. The connector's right here. It fits in with a click. And then I think we want to remove this screw that's over here. Use a box to get that up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to gently coil this wire and hook it through here. And then that way we take out the slack. We don't have to worry about that wire getting loose and getting tangled in the steps. So you can kind of see how I configured that. I guess I can probably bring you guys a little bit closer. Kind of had it out of the way a little bit to so yeah, there you go. So you can kind of see how that wire I have come down and then it like loops around. So that's mounted in there. Okay, then basically putting your control panel back together again. Step 3. Okay. Put this center one in first. And let gravity hold it in place. Alright, now we got that kind of hanging. Mount these other screws. Okay, so 2 panels are done. Your control panel is installed. Let's go back a little bit. And next part on the instructions are going to be, so it looks like we don't have to do a step. It looks like that panel is connected to that wire that we connected already. So I guess we can skip that step depending on how yours was manufactured. And the next step is going to be putting the rails and the steps on. So we're going to put the rails on, and notice that the rails do have connector cables on them. So we'll connect those as we put them on. And same thing, these are the rails. Alright, so it looks like that's probably going to be your right hand handle. Like I said, that is to measure your pulse as well as like kind of like a safety grip point. Okay, so starting on the left-hand side of the handle, so you can kind of tell which side's the left. And you simply put this down in here. And then we are going to be pulling this cable out. Then that's going to connect here, these 2 pieces. And you just line them up. They snap in. And you can gently slide this down into the handlebar. Make sure you're not going to pinch the wire. So that's how that side fits. And then basically we're replicating it on this side. So you're sliding the handrail in. You're going to be connecting the 2 connectors. And you'll see a notch on top of the one as you put it together. And we'll just slide that handle in. So let's get the bolts and put them on. So as you're looking, connecting those 2 pieces, and then 7 plus 9 goes through, bolts in. So you need these 2 nuts, these 2 bolts, and 2 of these washers. So you can alternate, you can do both on one side or alternate them. Okay, so you have a couple bolts left over. So they are two different sizes, as you can tell. Line that up like that. So these shorter ones are going to go on your handrails. These longer ones will go onto the bottom where you have your final step. So your smaller ones go in here, and just kind of start them. Not super tight, just enough to start that on the other side. Then with your Allen key, just tighten them in. Okay, and then you have these 2 feet that are left over, so they will mount onto the bottom and out like this. And again, these are the longer ones, so you get your footstep on the other side. And you just tighten it down with Allen key. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you're just holding the side in 17, and then you are tightening it with your Allen key. So now we're going to flip it around, plug it in, and see how it works. Okay, so it does have a, oh, let me apologize about the lighting. It's nighttime now, so the lighting is kind of weird in the gym studio, but however, we shall proceed. So this has a auto off, which I noticed that let this sit idle for a little bit while I was doing some cleanup. So it does auto power off, which is cool. And basically what you're doing is you just hit start button, and then the stepper will start going. And yes, I am still in jeans, but I figure I'd just do kind of like the quick demonstration. Oh, and it also comes with a water bottle holder, which I thought was pretty cool. So that is basically kind of like the low level, and I like how it kind of has like a path to kind of give you like how far you're going, and then to increase your speed, you just hit that, and then that will acknowledge your speed level. So pretty cool display. It's level 4, and we'll go through the calories and how many steps you've done, your time, and we'll slow down so I don't get out of breath doing this. And the pulse works from these 2 hand pulls, but obviously you got to hold them together. So let me put the phone down real quick. So kind of give you an idea on the pulse. So that works pretty accurate, but you have to hang on to both Yeah, getting out of breath already. Okay, so let's slow this down and stop it. Okay, so pretty cool. So there's a lot. You have different programs that you could do. Has a nice little welcome screen. Like I said, pulse, you do have to hang on to both handrails to get an accurate pulse reading. And I like how it has your calories, your steps. So programs, again, just hit program. And then it is very sensitive. So one thing I noticed, which actually is kind of good, because I have some touch screen athletic equipment that it is just crazy. But anyway, so it will have different programs for you, different levels, different step profiles, different speed profiles as I sift through this. Then they have a program that goes off your heart rate, and then these are just different step profiles. So that's slow, and then that will get faster as it goes. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, does an absolute lot. You can set your time, how long your workouts are. So it is interactive, keeps you going. Hit reset back to the beginning. And it does have like this little holder here. Like if you want to put like a magazine or something here in front, like who uses magazines? But you can probably put your iPad here, your cell phone, as long as it's not touching these buttons. Because like I said, they do seem very, very sensitive. So I would be a little, well, let me put the phone down. Hang on one second. Okay, so I just did, all right, takes a little getting used to. All right, stop. Okay, so I did put my cell phone here, and I was able to go through the workout plus watch some stuff on the cell phone without the buttons getting pressed. So that was actually pretty good. And like I said, if you had an iPad, you could put that down here and kind of give you an idea. That's what the groove looks like. And I know I'm going in depth, but with this price point, you want to know exactly what you're getting. So you have the handrails, so you can do a bunch of different grips on that. This is really good to get your pulse, and it's a comfortable ergonomic position, I guess you can say, on that. But again, it's for balance. It's not to kind of grip and take your weight off the stairs. And the stairs are pretty cool. Let me get down off of this. So you have 1 foot stop here. And if you can see down there, it has a light beam. I haven't gone all the way down. My delusion is that once you get all the way down there, and if your foot catches that beam, it will probably slow you down. Actually, let's try it. Let's see what it does. All right, let's go. Then we're just going to go all the way down and see what it does. Okay, so that stops it. So that's really cool. That's like an emergency stop. So obviously make sure you keep those clean. But yeah, I like that fact that you have an emergency stop on there as well. I thought it was probably going to like slow it down, but it just stops it. So that's good. And it's going to give you an error 2, meaning that you tripped that. And the other thing is, let's measure the stair heights on this. Hang on one second. Okay, so the stair height is basically, it's about 8 1/4, 8.5 inches, I think is what it comes at. 8 1/4 inches. And the steps are 22 3/4 wide. Actually, that's the track is how wide that is. And then the face of each step, not the face, but the length of each step is basically 9 inches across. So kind of give you a really good dimensional feel of how that works. But yeah, so far First impressions, very impressed with it. And really cool looking. Oh, I keep forgetting stuff. So the overall height, so I'll tell you how high that is from the floor down. So to the top of the control panel, you're looking at 78, roughly 78 inches, which is basically 6'6". So about the height of a doorway. All right, and a couple other measurements. So I am 20 inches above the top of this control panel, standing on the bottom step. So I basically come about 3 inches over the top of this windowsill. So let's measure that. All right, so to the bottom of the floor, it's 94 inches from the top of that windowsill. Top of the window. So that's basically 7 foot. Get that into focus a little bit better. So it's 7 foot 10 inches. And I'm basically about 5'8", 5'7" and 3/4. So I came in 3 inches on top of that. So 94, 95, 96, 97. So give you an idea. So 97 inches. I'm 5'8" on that top step, to give you kind of an idea. So if you have an 8-foot ceiling, I got to be honest with you, and if you are taller than 5'8", it's going to be tight. You can work it a little bit lower onto the lower steps, absolutely, and then you'll be able to get that, extra height. Give you an idea. I have 12-foot ceilings in this part of the studio, so that kind of give you a general idea. Oh, it's my jersey from long ago. But that will give you an idea of how tall this actually stands compared to what an 8-foot ceiling would be. So you figure an 8-foot ceiling would be about at that height. So if we bring that back, so a little bit taller than that window. And yeah, so that could be some difficulty. I'm going to stand on this to give you a better idea and record from an alert position. All right, so it kind of gives you an idea. So I'm basically on the top step here. And again, 8 foot would be 3 inches from there. I know it's kind of a hard perspective to kind of get the angles and everything. It's kind of hard to get a camera like, so it's at a set height. But again, so you're looking at 8 foot at the top of that tape measure, and that's the height that would be in a, I guess like an average size room in your house, unless you have like 9-foot ceilings, 10-foot, 12-foot ceilings like I have here in this part of the studio. So it would be tight. So this would be for probably like a upstairs bedroom. If you're under 5'8", you'd probably be okay. It would be great out in a garage is probably like the best place for it, where you're gonna have like taller ceilings than normal. Some garages are usually like 8.5, 9 feet, then you'll be fine. So if you're 6 foot or higher inside of your house in an average 8-foot size bedroom, and then if you have carpet, that takes away another inch or so. So just to kind of give you an idea. Oh, and it just auto shut it off, so that was probably a couple minutes. You can see the display. So that's a good energy saving thing. But overall, that is kind of like my presentation of this stepper, and just to kind of give you an idea of how the box, the crate shows up, how to get it out of the crate, how to set it up, how to start it, how to get it running, your height requirements, and those are all the facts. So hopefully I've covered everything for you. Other than that, enjoy, be safe and healthy out there. Brian from Garage Mall. Okay, so now that I'm in some workout gear, I can kind of like run you through, show you how slow it goes, and then how fast it goes. just so you have kind of like a benchmark so you can kind of see how it goes. But again, hit start. And then power button. Basically, so you're hitting the power button twice. And so this is speed 1. And my pulse is at 75. So, I mean, that is a nice gentle stroll up the stairs. This is level 2. So you can kind of see it's still a little bit of a delay. And that's level 3. That's probably about equivalent to how, I guess probably, at least the pace I keep when I go upstairs. And my pulse is at 100. So, I'm climbing. Level 4. Level 5. So you can definitely see how this is starting to move. 6. 7. 8. And so this is going to be level 10. And I like that it has a, I guess, a switch on it. That when you get off of it, it will automatically slow down. And you have these side steps. Out of breath a little bit, so it's definitely doing its job. So it has these side steps here that you can safely jump out of the way. And like I said, it's got that kind of like, I don't call it a safety switch, I guess, where it senses you're not on the steps. So it will automatically shut down. Then we'll go back down. So, I mean, even for the fittest of people, like that level 10, you're running up the steps. So it will be definitely a great workout. Like I said, I've only done a couple minutes on this, and I'm already pretty winded. And let me see what my pulse is at. Well, it's coming back down, but we're about, keeps going up. I'm about like 90, 95. And still, like I said, still winded from the level 10. That was fast. That was definitely fast. So, but again, great feature. As soon as it senses your weight is off, it stops. If you drop all the way down, it's got that laser kill switch, stops it immediately, gives you that error too. But again, manual goes over a lot. You got your reading rack up here that you can use, and you can put an iPad on there. The buttons are a little sensitive, so I think I'd probably maybe put a thin towel over that monitor to keep the buttons from accidentally getting pressed. But yeah, other than that, Brian from Granville Hall with your awesome stair climber, StepMill. Be safe out there and healthy. Stay healthy.